Hi everyone, so today we are looking at the pricing strategy that we have on Gumroad, the content strategy more broadly, and how we are using make.com to save us time.
This is Jack, I'm Remko, this is the Mission Adapt podcast. Hey folks, we're on a mission to build a community. It's not easy.
And we would love it if you would like and subscribe somewhere over here. Like this. That's the first one, right? We can improve that.
Yeah.
Okay. First things first. What is our agenda? What are we going to talk about? So there was the pricing issue or pricing thing.
Pricing thing with Gumroad.
Talking about Gumroad.
Like, is it in dollars or in euros?
Which we can go into in a second.
Yeah.
There is. I think there's a general content strategy question.
Yeah.
What we want to talk about. And
I definitely want to see what you've been creating.
And I really want to show you what I built on this. I could nerd out about this. I want to get your feedback because it's just the first iteration, but it's I'm excited. Let's save that one till last because I'll get too excited about that. Yeah.
I know you're vegetarian, but I always when I have a piece of meat. No, I end with the meat.
Okay.
It's like I save it till last.
Yeah, save the best till last. That's the best way. Yeah. Okay. So the Gumroad issue is as follows. I have a supportive girlfriend, and nice. She decided that she was going to buy our first product, which was great. We decided to go on to Gumroad to buy it. We've set Gumroad in euros. However, when you click pay, Gumroad takes it to US dollars. It also adds VAT to the price, so it added an extra $13 or something to the price, which
is 21%,
which is quite a lot, and and over the price point of what we wanted to try and I think what we want to try and sell it at. So it opens up a few questions. So I've just opened this up in a new tab. This is what happens when we go to Gumroad and you try and click buy on the mission. I mean, if I go back. If we go to the page on Gumroad, this is the main product, 39 euros. When we click buy, it then shows up as $42 and change plus VAT. $51 in total.
Which is both a higher price and it's not in euros. So.
Yeah, so quite rightly, my girlfriend was a bit like, hey, what? That doesn't make sense to me. Why have I got to do that? So
big no-no and a red flag.
I think there's a couple of things. One's the VAT question and one's the charging in currency. My personal view is I don't think it makes sense to change currencies. That's a bit weird. At least when I go and buy something, I want to try and pay in the local currency. But maybe there is an argument that it's okay in dollars if we keep it consistent. But I definitely don't think there should be VAT chucked on at the end.
No.
As a European...
Can we select it as like, okay, prices with...
So, yeah, this is a blog post from Gumroad about the reducing VAT for e-publications. I think we would fall under an e-publication. Books, newspapers, periodicals, either physical or means to support, drawings, colours, ring books, manuscripts, charts, things like that. And it's not exactly the same, but I guess there's a question for us as a business. Is that what we define ourselves as? And can say that we are an e-publication? Because I think what happens if you select this and say that we're an e-publication, it then... removes the VAT from that price so that people will be charged what they actually see in the first place. The other side of that is the currency thing, which we can change in Gumroad, but
it will always show.
It will still always be in dollars, and seeing as we're in Europe and most of our market, I don't know. Do we think they're going to be in Europe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. So yeah.
Okay, so. First things first, I don't see a problem in showing prices in dollars. I've been buying stuff in dollars and you just calculate $1 is €1, more or less. But that's me. Especially since Gumroad will always show it in dollars. Maybe we should now do the experiment of showing it in dollars, see what happens. We don't have a lot of traffic anyway, yet. So that would be my preference to set it in dollars, and if we can,
I think we can do that.
yeah.
Or maybe I can't do that.
But you're a full admin, right?
I don't have the power.
Wow! Let me give you the power.
What's that? That's weird.
Gumroad.
I think you're right. At least then we solved the initial problem of being charged in dollars. State it in dollars, and it's always in dollars in one currency to remove that confusion. My view is maybe in the long run we switch platforms to something.
Yeah, that's definitely
which is a shame.
It's a good platform,
but it's good to know. Some people that I've had feedback from is Gumroad's a bit confusing to know how to use. In some ways it's good, and other ways I think people struggle because maybe it's just because it's a different product, which is a bit weird.
So you feel like you're going out of the ecosystem that you're actually buying or looking for stuff, and you want to stay in the in our case mission adapt ecosystem
potentially. And I think as well I've heard from people that have tested this that Notion and Gumroad, they're not users as either of those, and they're two different platforms, so it's kind of confusing that we're throwing two things at them. Okay, you've got the power.
I have the power.
Yeah, fine.
That's funny. Why don't you have the power?
Maybe you have to be the owner.
No, you're an admin. Or are you an accountant?
I'm an accountant. Removed from, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm logged in as me.
The owner.
And you're the owner.
Yeah.
Maybe the owner's the only one that can do it. That's fine. That's just the hello.
The owner is
isn't
in
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I set it. I'll set it to US dollars. Update settings, but I don't see a place where you can say I want to show the price in.
So now, if we
with that included.
Well, if I refresh this, is this gonna update? Hopefully, it will. So that's actually on the product. Oh, this hasn't changed.
Oh well.
But according to the blog post, it's this option, mark product as e-publication. So we can go in here and say, tick this, mark product as e-publication for VAT. And if I click...
Yeah, but the thing is that will not charge VAT. Well, we want to charge VAT, but we want to have the VAT
have it included in the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get my head around. How we set that up. Specify refund.
Content. Setting limit price. No, allow customer. No. Or, no.
Yeah, this takes us. Yeah, that takes us to that page I found.
Okay, let's leave this for after the meeting, because we can spend indefinitely searching for. Or we need to. Yeah, no, it's weird. Why can't we just show the price?
Yeah, can you show price on Gumroad with VAT included? I've got Ecosia now.
Okay, so you're planting trees.
I wanted to plant trees. I thought I used it for a while, and then I went back to Google. Google's definitely a better service.
Yeah.
It's nice to
it's
plant
good
some
for your
trees.
feeling.
Yeah. This doesn't actually get. Yeah. Okay. So we can pick this up after the meeting.
Yeah.
What are the actions if I'm going to write these?
Okay. So
this isn't Monday.
search for a way to.
Wednesday. Pricing on Gumroad. Search for a way to price
including VAT.
With VAT included. Yeah. Are we happy with the price point still? Even as in dollars.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I
mean, we have bigger things to test right now than the price.
We got to try and grow an audience. Get people interested.
Exactly.
Fine. Though we did get some downloads, which was
pretty cool. Yeah, it was
nice.
Good, nice surprise this morning.
One was an hour ago, which was good. So nice to see, moving in the right direction. Okay, so We changed it to USD. We're going to try and include price with VAT.
Yeah.
I said that right, I think. And that's it. That one's done.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is content strategy.
Content strategy. This is the big.
Yeah, I think the thing I've built,
frog.
the thing I've built comes into this, but I want to outline. And we keep talking about content strategy. We talked about our ideal customer profile last time. I think that all feeds into it. We've kind of spoken about our content pillars as well. I think for me is reiterating probably is the right word, what our content pillars are, what things we're going to try and create, and what platforms and how we're going to do that from a strategy perspective. I think that's what's in my head of what we want to discuss here. But what is it?
I think you missed the seed or the starting point. What do we write about in our content?
That's what I meant by the content pillars. But yeah. So what do we write about? Yeah.
So last time we defined that we had the
ICP.
The mission. The mission adapt manifesto.
Yep.
And we described a couple of trends that we want to find an answer to, because these trends will merge or converge. Converge.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is to find an answer to that, or explore answers or possible ways to thrive in those changing environments. So that I think those trends are topics per se. Like,
I've done. Hang on, how do I find this? I'm going to save that. Yes, I agree.
But
no, I think we've probably already done this work. What am I looking for? Prompt examples. It kind of jumps onto this is an inner working into the mess that is my mind. Okay, content summarizer and research assistant. I have been building this thing. This is a sneak peek of what we're going to talk about in a minute. And in there, I've tried to use some ideas on the post content, which now I can't find, which includes the pillars that we want to go after. And now I can't find it. And this was taken from the... Oh, where are they? Yeah, this was... So I've got my note here about the content pillars include leveraging opportunities, recognizing possibilities, personal fulfillment, remote work, AI and automation, a purpose-driven economy, flexible work, and self-improvement.
Yeah.
That was refined from GPT somewhere in one of the other million posts.
It's also almost exactly the
manifest. Yeah, I took that from the manifesto.
Okay.
So they're the content pillars that I think we have as the higher overarching things. I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, where we're probably going is, what's the next level down from that? And say, with these content pillars, what are the... what are the actual pieces of content that we want to write about?
And you want subcategories, or...
Well, no, that was an idea. They're the content pillars, and then within that, maybe they're subcategories, maybe they're just, these are the general topics that we write about, that we try to provide content about that is useful.
Yeah.
Is that where you think?
I think there's two paths, right? There's one path is we could generate ideas in ChatGPT, which is the new economy way of doing stuff.
I'll show you that in a minute.
So that's one, and the second one is if we have ideas about it when we're traveling or whatever, and we have the content pillars in our mind, and we say, oh, this is a good thing, this is a good thing, we just add it to the list.
Yeah.
And
okay, content pillars are clear.
And what I noticed in my personal personal branding experiment on LinkedIn is that the more you write, the more ideas you get.
Yeah.
And sometimes you black out, but that's no problem because you have a repository of ideas already, like a pool of things. And I think we have a pool of things already.
Yeah.
And we can replenish that pool with ChatGPT or any AI.
Yes. And that's what this pool is that we've got. The marketing posts.
Marketing posts, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we then.
But you're looking for something more, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you don't feel that this is enough.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. It's highly probable. I think we've got that. I think you're right. I've built something with Make, which I'll show you, which I think answers a lot of this. It definitely needs refinement, and I want to get your feedback so we can try and optimize it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's okay. Maybe we just need to start trying it and say, okay, here's the plan. This is what we will do each week, and share,
iterate
and maybe that's maybe that's the missing piece in my head. I'm probably overthinking it with the content strategy. I think you're right. We just need to do.
It sounds to me like you're overthinking it.
Yeah. Okay. Then maybe the content strategy is clear and we're okay. Yeah. I guess. Are we saying LinkedIn? Are we saying Twitter? Are we saying video, shorts? All of those.
This is going to be my big question for later. Can we, if once we say, okay, this is a post, can we then?
Yes.
Branch it out.
I've got many ideas about that.
We're looking forward to.
All
this.
right, let me. Let's jump into the exciting part then. Okay, so while you've been away, I have.
1 week holiday.
1 week holiday for this man. I basically nerded out with Make as a tool and started. Oh, hello. Oh, you're gonna let me log in, are you? Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll black this
bit out. Yeah. It always logs me out. I don't know why. It doesn't persist the login. So this I don't know if you played with it before, but
I never saw it. I saw Dan Geller, the AI guru from LinkedIn,
it is incredible what it could do. It is scary. I've followed a number of tutorials and stuff on here, but the two things I want to show you is the idea creation to a LinkedIn draft that I tried to create. Yeah. So there's two parts to this, and I'll just talk you through it, and then I think there's also a Miro which I have as kind of a flow of the steps that I think we want to take that we can come back to try and say, okay, what makes sense to optimize this?
Yeah.
The goal at the high level is, I think we take an idea, we generate new ideas from that.
Yeah.
We do research, we write drafts, then the human comes in, we edit the drafts, make them better, and then we post.
Yeah, mark them for publication.
And mark them for publication, and then there's something. So we can set multiple different flows with this, and I've split this into two for now. This one is an idea in Notion through a custom GPT that I built, which is I don't know where it is. It's in my assistants, my Justin Welsh idea generator.
Is it from Justin Welsh? Or
yeah,
so just call it?
I took Justin Welsh's idea generator concept, where he has one piece of content and he can make it into 30 days worth of content.
Yeah.
I tweaked it slightly, and we can jump into the exact prompts if you want to at some point. But yeah, here are the content pillars to include.
Okay.
Right. It's a shame you can't. Can you open this up? Oh, yeah. Much better. Okay. So the content pillars to include, and then the content type. So one idea goes in, and I say, please create me one idea of each of these content types. I think there's a lot of optimizations we can do around these and say, do we really want these content types? And based on the type of content that we're going for, whether it's a listicle versus a motivational post, we do a different type of research and different type of planning for it. But at the moment, it's just one flow. And then I give it instructions. And what it does is...
one question, why is it in between stars?
They're just like headings so that it knows.
Okay, it's not like this is a variable that you have to insert.
Nothing at the moment with that. The variable that you insert into this is actually at the moment hard coded. in Make here. So when this loads, hardcode, I was testing this for a random idea, but we put the message in there. But what I can do is I can select it from one of these. And what I originally had, which is getting into the weeds a bit, it searches for a Notion item in a database that is flagged with AI ready.
Okay.
It then pulls the top 10 lines of data from that Notion page and feeds it into this idea generator to then come up with 10 ideas that are spat out into this list.
Cool.
Okay, so the one I showed you yesterday was, okay, the idea I gave it was literally just escape the cubicle, embrace your calling.
Yeah.
And it went, okay, I'm going to create one post idea for actionable, motivational, analytical, etc., etc. So, actionable, how to transition from cubicle work to pursuing your passion. And just that comes up with that idea of that post. That's the end of this flow. There's a question really of, so I originally had it like this in Notion, that it would take all of this information in, so we could jot ideas down and it could run off on those.
Yeah.
So I think there's value in that. That may be more valuable to use in the second flow when we already have an idea for a post. This first flow might be more valuable for just ideating on new ideas that we can use.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, the output is this Google Sheet, and the next flow uses that Google Sheet as an input. It just goes through the list. So next row, next row, next row. At the moment, I've only set them up as run once, but we can put them on timers. We can put them on to watch for when we put the status of AI ready in there to automatically do it. So it triggers it. And go from there. So basically, what I want to show you is all of this flow, and then discuss what the right inputs and outputs we want for each of these stages, so we can try and optimize it. So that's the first one. It might be that we say either an input here is that Google Sheet or a idea for a post that we already have, but we can kind of discuss that in a minute.
Out of curiosity, why do you use Google Sheets and not another Notion?
It was easier
table?
to set it up. It was easier to set up. Just the way that I was learning to use Make. Okay. It was a bit easier. I've managed to now output it into Notion. So I think we could use Notion.
Yeah.
But when it came to, we can do that if we want to. It was just simpler to set it up from a Google Sheet.
Just because I think that the future is like using certain tools independently. Just look at their function. So Google Sheets or Notion is a database, so basically a table. So you could use any kind of table software. You can say like Excel or whatever.
Yeah, so you can use Airtable
like as well.
I think the reason why I didn't do it in Notion was because actually it was a bit more complicated. A Google Sheet, you can use one module to just search it and get that line. Notion, you need to
define which table,
find the database, then get the item from that database, then change the database. So it's a bit more involved and in theory more costly because you have to run more operations to get all of that information. So we can definitely optimize that in future. But this is all definitely up for grabs. What this does, I don't need that anymore, is three things really. It takes a line from the Google Sheets. It runs this perplexity operation, which is another prompt that I've written, which is basically you're a researcher and a summarizer, go away and summarize this topic, look at it. There's detail about the target audience, and I tried to give it context about what we were doing with Mission Adapt, and take these three inputs. So these three inputs are taken from the Excel sheet or the Google Sheet, which is the content pillar, the content idea, the type, and the post idea. And it takes one row. Now, I don't really know how valuable each of those are because they're kind of similar. We've got the content pillar, which is that piece in the manifesto of what we do. The content idea was the idea that we actually put into it. The content type is what it's iterated over, and the post idea is just the name. we could take the content type and then say, okay, if it's an actionable post, do this. If it's a motivational, do that.
5 points.
So it goes. So I think that's a sensible optimization, and we can optimize the actual prompts within that. But for now, I've just done that. This then goes, and I ran this before, so we can see the output. Actually, it's going to be easy to read like this. So now this one, the input, I don't actually know what the input was. The input from Google Sheets was, the content pillar, the content idea, what we've got. So purpose-driven economy, uncovering the role of continuous learning in shaping purpose-driven careers. That was the idea. That's all the context it was given. And then out of that, it's gone, here's a summary of what I found. Here's some facts. Here's some, what are you laughing at? Me saying facts. There's some references that it's got in terms of the World Economic Forum. There's some data points that it uses. Perplexity is really good like that. And at the moment, it's very cheap. So this doesn't really cost anything. It's really, really good. Then I feed that into a GPT. And this is the post idea to Perplexity research, which is this one. And again, it basically says, okay, you've got these different pieces of input data, analyze the input data, there's content type again, how we're going to use that, then generate a post-draft content. And within that post-draft content, I've said, I want you to decide the target emotion that we're going after. What do we want people to feel? What's the why behind the post? Give me a headline, give me a hook, give me the details of the body of the post, give me the hashtags, any references, and then also adopt this tone of voice and the length of the post, 900 characters, so we can change that. And then I tried this begin loop. So I said, I want you to do that 3 times. So I want you to give me 3 ideas of outlines of a post. Because the point is that we're not just going to go post stuff out there. No. This is an idea generation. So my logic was, if we can come up with 3 post drafts, we can then take the best bits from all of those and edit it into something that is decent.
Yeah.
Okay. The only weird thing with that is, as you may see when you look at the output, actually I don't think this has done it. It doesn't always give us 3 posts. Sometimes it does.
It doesn't do the loop.
It doesn't always do the loop because this is only running on 3.5. So at the moment, fine, really cheap. I could use 4. I haven't tried it with 4. It might give us something much better. Probably. But it gives us this output. So then it goes, okay, I've taken the research that you've done into, okay, we know what the target emotion is, the hook, the body ideas, and the hashtag. And that's 735 characters. Sometimes it does 3 of those posts, but they're a bit short. And then the third one is a LinkedIn viral formatter. So I'd call it a viral formatter, but basically it takes in an input of 3 LinkedIn draft posts, assuming it's got 3 of those, and then use the target emotion, explain the why headline and body to format that into a viral post.
Okay.
Don't change the hashtags, mentions, or videos, because we'll do that. And then give it the actions to perform. And the easy part here, how do I go back? Not easy part. The good part here as well is we also have a vector store of LinkedIn posts to reference. So we need to get a really big list of all LinkedIn posts. And what we could do is tag those based on whether they're actionable, analytical listicles, so that it can see the style of posts that we want to go after and want to create, and it will get better at doing that over time. I only put something like 15 examples in there for now, but we can get a load of those. I think, just to get nerdy for a second, I don't think this is a vector store. I think this is just a PDF at the moment. I actually put it in Markdown because I've heard that that's easier for it to read and faster. We could use a vector store, but vector stores can get quite expensive. It basically just chunks a load of text, assigns a vector value to it, and then it's easier for the LLM to reference that so that it can see it, which is cool if we've got loads of data. And I've kind of been playing with it on other projects, but for now, I think this is just good enough. But that said, we still need to put more in there so we can get better output.
Okay.
So if you remember, this was the input here, then the output is a more, it's not perfect, but hopefully you can agree, more of a LinkedIn style, short to the point post.
Yep.
That we can use. The ideal there is we get 3 of these for every post that we can,
and we can just select
the bits that we like. Yeah. The one point though is, if it runs and it selects a different target emotion for each of those, it would have 3 different target emotions for those posts. Maybe a problem, maybe it's not a problem.
Or maybe not. Maybe we can combine. I mean, a good post has different emotions anyway. It's like
true.
Inspiring, it's happy or sad, it gives you a pain or a relief or
exactly. These were, and we can change all of these, but these are posts that or questions that I've started using in my posts as a way to kind of frame the post that I'm going for, with the call to action and the emotion and everything like that. So then,
can we also say, like, for instance, I like the LinkedIn formatting a lot, like when it's just 5 words or a max of 8 words, so you don't have to read the lines. Like
we can set that up. So that definitely we can do that. So these are the kind of things that I want to check with you. So then I just have a router so that we can see the output in a Google Docs. Again, it was easier to do Google Docs for research purposes, and then it also outputs this into Notion. So this will create a new input in Notion. So for example, I'm just going to run it and we can see it do its thing. It will pick something from my Google Sheet, row 16. So row 16 was this one, flexible work, X versus Y, self-study versus mentorship, choosing the best learning path for growth.
Wow.
No idea if that's going to be any good or not.
It sounds hefty.
Yeah, it does. So, and now we can see in real time it doing this, and Perplexity coming up with, here's a summary. Some of it's high level. I think we want to reference check these as well to see what it does come up with.
If it's not hallucinating.
Yeah, and if it's not hallucinating and stuff. What else did I want to ask to make sure that we check? Okay, so now it's there, and it's also here. So if I go back to Notion and I look at the status of AI draft or AI ready, self-study versus mentorship. So now that is here. And this is the output. Formatted post 1, formatted post 2. So I actually did it this time. And we have these. So self-study, I'm choosing them. Dive into self-study, flexible course, something. It's pretty generic, to be honest. And this is where I think it's difficult to, just because we created 8 ideas here, I don't think that means there's 8 good ideas coming out of here.
No.
So one other idea I had was, we get a list of loads of these and then we say, okay, this one's interesting, that one's interesting, and we probably need to give it a little bit more context to this as well.
Yeah.
To try and improve it, because it just goes and does it. But there are endless possibilities with what we could do with this and optimize.
This is where the general pool of human generated intelligent posts topics come in. Like you walking on the street and think, how could I make money selling air? I don't know. Or purifying air in the street, like, and you just insert it as an idea
and put it in there,
or AI or GPT generating ideas based on the content pillars. So we need that pool, and then mark it, or like, okay, we think that this topic is interesting to work out,
work with, and so if you say that, then there needs to be a human in the loop to say, okay, let's come up with loads of ideas. Let's prioritize which of those ideas are good. And this is why I kept them as separate flows, because I think there's 2 different angles to this. There's one for us to say, okay, we need to come up with ideas. What are good ideas based on the pillars that we like, which we can throw into the Justin Welsh idea generator. And then there's, I've got an idea for a post. Let me throw my notes at it and output a draft 3 drafts that are ready to go. that hopefully is more formatted in the LinkedIn style, and we can take the best bits from those and make it more viral.
Okay.
So I mean, there's anything that we could do with this, and then once we've done that, we could have another one that quite easily formats it for, say, Twitter.
Yeah.
This
is what you read minds.
Yeah. So I definitely think Twitter's a no-brainer to try and do, and we could quite easily create quite a lot of content for Twitter, because Twitter's very much just like
just one line.
Putting stuff out. So I definitely think we could do that, and. Yeah, I don't know. There'll be other platforms we could go for as well. Yeah. And I can make a whole other scenario that say, okay, when we get to the ready to post state, that then triggers a funnel that posts it for us, that we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Or puts it on another scheduled timeline.
Yeah, exactly, because we need to schedule posts. We don't want to dump
everything out.
So maybe we should. Is it possible to say, like, okay, maybe in the end we have a list in Notion or in Google Sheets? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Notion is more easy.
List in of post ideas.
Yeah, post ideas that we think are good, or posts that are
like,
good.
They're all that we like. Yeah.
And then say, like, okay, how do we schedule it? So we select a post date and say this is ready to post.
I think so. I've not looked into that. I think there are LinkedIn modules that we can do. So I think we can schedule it to post on those times. I don't think that will be an issue.
Or should it always be like a human involved doing the posting as well?
I don't think it needs to be. What I don't know how you do it when you do your LinkedIn post, but I have to sit down for a while. I'll batch a few up, schedule them, and then leave it. Like, that's not particularly smart work. I mean, you have to make sure it's formatted correctly. That's a bit of a back and forth on LinkedIn, but it's not. If we can set it up correctly, I don't see why we couldn't automate that.
Other than LinkedIn maybe punishing you for using AI instead of
you're just connecting their interface. You're using their API, so I don't think that's necessarily an issue to post, as long as it's not spammy content and is. I mean, that's the key with this, right? With this, as you see, I can quite easily create a lot of content that just goes out, not necessarily good. Every second. Yeah, there's not necessarily good that we need to be careful of, but I'm hoping from a writer's block perspective, which I'm having this week, and just us being able to put more content out there that has a nugget of wisdom and is useful, is a good way to do it. I mean, we still got to do all the commenting and making sure that people are, engaging with people that are using it, which is the other side of that coin.
This is the community building part.
Okay. But hopefully, if we can do this I was thinking as well, if it is going to be AI, we can try and make it extra short. Like, there's no fluff. You don't need a fluff. If it's an idea and it's a useful idea, or it reminds someone or sparks something in someone else, then that can go out. That's all we need. So structuring them like that, I think would be valuable. But really, this needs iteration and refinement to say, okay, what's going to work for us with our content flow, and how can we optimize that? Because I want to go away today with ideas from what you've said and how we can do it, so I can rebuild iteration 2 that hopefully fits our needs a bit clearer.
Okay, so what I'm thinking of is, how can we keep the human in the loop? What is the human element? Are we the selectors and say, okay, these ones are worthy of. So we basically have these are worthy ideas. Create a post around it, and then we need to grab those posts manually, or.
I think there's probably two inputs actually. We come up with an idea and we like it and we just want to draft.
Yep.
And then we've got a general area and a theme, and the AI's come up with an idea. Then we prioritize it, or at least say, okay, that one's got legs, add some more context to it and feed it through. I think probably. So there's probably two inputs into that. So there's like this is the very brief funnel that I tried to explain for myself of everything that we want to do. So there's take a post idea. Actually, there's that take a post idea is assuming we have a post, and it basically goes straight to there. There's take a content pillar, if I can call it that. then we put that content pillar through the idea generator, through you'll put it there actually as well, topic pillars, the brand manifesto, and says, okay, what are types of content that we can create? That outputs into a Google Sheet. There's another thing here that we need to manually, prioritized.
Yeah, maybe make that another color so you can see that that's a human.
This is human. This is human. I don't know what color humans are.
Green.
Yeah. And then once we've prioritized that, we need to add more context to it. Because I think a really important thing that I quite liked with this is giving it why we think, what the motivation, what the emotion we're going for, any hook ideas we have, the why, any other like initial research that we've done on it. Like this one was an idea I had about new careers with AI, and thinking, okay, using Make and being an automation expert versus being a video storyteller with AI versus anything else. Yeah. These are all ideas that we could put into that and say, go and research those.
What I see that works pretty well is personal stories. So what we could do is like read this and say, oh, hey, I have a personal reference in my life and I can add that to it.
Yeah. I like that. That was another thing that's definitely missing.
Because that ChatGPT will, or no AI will ever be, well, never say never, but for now, AI won't be able to have your experience.
For right, and for sure, what I've created there, as you can see, some of it's a bit. I mean, I'm not quality checked it to say, okay, this is ready to go out. I've kind of put it together. The prompts are a starting point, but to create something that is human, that has a story and whatnot, we will need to do ourselves in some way. I can try it where we say, okay, I've got a story for that, and draft a story and say, rewrite this for me. That might be useful. But I think there's a lot of different inputs, and depending on the input style that we use should depend on the prompt that we try to optimize it for. So if it's a personal story, it's okay, maybe you don't need to do any research on it. Format it in a really engaging storyteller, and then put that through the viral LinkedIn formatter so that it's formatted for that. And then we can look at it and go, okay, that kind of makes sense. Oh, this bit's wrong about the story. I'm going to add this bit so that it's accurate, or I want to accentuate a different part of it. But definitely true. I think that's a good point. So it's something like this then. That we have. Route one is we just have a general content pillar or topic idea, and we want to generate post ideas from that. I simplified the Justin Welsh idea generator because it's actually 7 by 5, and there's different, so you can get 30 ideas from one idea, and I can put that in there so that we have more of them. But at the moment I just thought, okay, let's just do the 8, and then we can pick those 8, but we can run that as many times as we want, and we can do this content pillar and add, we can even add a random keyword to it and say, do it based on this keyword, see what it comes up with. And then we just need a way to, once a week we have to sit down and go, and we can even do it asynchronously, where we have a column of Jack and Remko, and if Jack likes that one, Remko likes that one, we both like that one, great, moves to a new, just copy and paste it into another sheet. Or even if it could pick up that there's a tag there, and then based on that, it then starts going through this flow. But I think we need to be clear on the type of content that it's going to be, so that we can optimize the prompt for that flow. So we add additional context. The post idea we have ourselves also has additional context that can go into Perplexity to do some research. We can be clear on getting facts and references out of it. Ask it to get an interesting nugget. Maybe we can even say, okay, I want the output of those facts and references to be in the end state as well, so we can always refer back to them. And then start going through the GPT. I was actually thinking of using Claude or another one for writing the posts, because GPT is not the most natural,
engaging writer.
It's not the best writer in terms of the AIs that are out there, so I can look at using another one if we want it to be more kind of conversational. Right. And there's another piece about brand voice where we say, okay, again, with the examples that I created on it, with that examples, we can have here are a load of posts that we like based on this theme. Here are a load of posts based on that theme. Here's the brand voice that we have, and then the prompt can always be referred to this and that based on what it is, so I can find it. If that makes sense. So yeah, I guess if I have this as the starting point, what bits of it do you think I should prioritize improving or changing in some way? I guess to simplify that question for you, to simplify that question, I think we can tweak the prompts as we go through. Mm-hmm. The bit that I think, and we can also worry about doing it for other platforms afterwards once we've got it working for LinkedIn. Yeah, I think the most important bit is checking that something useful comes out there.
Yeah. That's the end goal.
Which is the end goal, which we need.
Yeah.
And to do that, I think we probably need to simplify the input into the system, because of the fact that at the moment there are 8 different types of content that we're trying to write for, which is quite difficult. So I was thinking maybe I try to optimize for 1, 2, or 3 of them, and
just
say let's pick
like actionable, motivation, or inspirational.
Which ones do you think are like of these?
I don't like,
because some of them are rubbish. Like the listicle one, it doesn't work because it can't come up with
present
7
versus future. I like this present versus future, but it's also a little bit of glass. How to say?
What, you think it's glass half empty?
No. It's what's this glass ball?
A crystal ball.
The crystal ball. It's, I like actionable because
actionable is always actionable.
Actionable is always actionable.
Yeah.
And motivational is also good because I know that a lot of people find it hard to find the motivation or the consistency to
do that,
to take the little steps that are needed to change in the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I can focus on those, and I can make different prompts based on those, and say, okay, if it's going to be an actionable prompt, I want to do this. I think one thing I want from you is a list of all the good LinkedIn posts that you think are valuable in terms of formats.
Yeah.
I've got
I got a couple of people that consistently make posts that are always that you always read. Yeah. Even if it's a long post, you just read it because of the formatting or because of the way the hook is.
Yeah. I put it somewhere in amongst my Notion's getting a bit unwieldy in some of these pages.
It's interesting how chaos starts trying to simplify things.
Yeah, I know. So this is just the format that I have right now for the knowledge base, if you like. I tried to do it in Markdown and said, okay, here's the output structure that we want from you. Post 1, 2, 3, content type, post content, hashtags, mentions, whatnot. So it does it. That does it 50% of the time. Other times it doesn't. We can try and force it. And then I've just gone viral post examples, example 1, example 2, through there. What we could probably try to improve upon is categorizing those and say, okay, this is an analytical or motivational post. This is a future versus now post, so that it can get an idea on the types of posts that we want to do. And if we can put 100 of these in there, I think that would improve it somewhat as well. So if you're able to help add to that, I think that would be great. And then, hang on.
The other thing that I'm thinking of is how do we create a system out of this? I mean, this is a system in itself, but how do we make it work? So do we schedule? I mean, we come together almost every Wednesday. Is that the day also that we say that we do the selection and that we say, okay, for next week we're going to do this, or do we do a monthly in a?
Yes, I think so.
It will not work if we have to communicate every day and say,
no. I think, I think we could probably do most of this asynchronously. It depends how we want to set it up. I could set it up that every time, so here, if it has the AI ready tag, I can set it up so that it's picked up and put through. Excuse me, and then it would change the status to be. I've got some there. The status is AI draft. So then we know, like, these are all the AI drafts I've been testing. We know we've got that there, and then we can look at. Someone can pick that up and say, okay, tweak it, post it. There's the second part of like the actual posting, but I think we can quite autonomously do that. That's assuming we have a post idea, right? This other part is maybe once a week, maybe it could even be once a month. It doesn't need to be. I think the other side of that is how many pieces of content do we need every month, every week, to be able to use this, because we could post as much as we wanted here with this.
I think once a day is like
once a day is plenty, right? But do we want to go for once a day? Is that the target?
I think so. If we have enough good ideas.
Okay.
It's a more a matter of having the good ideas. I mean, this already saves us a lot of time.
I hope so. I mean, we need to test this, but the idea is that it saves a lot of time, and you can then I'm an editor. I can go and improve it and make sure that it's valuable in some way, and then again move it to another status in Notion, and I can build the flow that schedules that. Now, it probably have to be quite smart to know what the next time is for the post, but I can figure that out.
Yeah, we can do that manually right now.
Yeah, we could. I mean,
just select the.
Yeah, and maybe right now we can do it manually.
Yeah.
And really, the key is getting probably this middle part right.
Yeah.
And that's I can have a go at that this evening, probably, if I'm not doing anything else, about taking a post idea. I think well, hang on, am I going to change subject again? Yeah, I think that's okay. If you're happy with that, and we try that. What we probably need is hang on, brain's broken. We need a bit of content first before we start doing it, so we probably need to be in content creation mode for the next week or so, where we just get 10, 20 of these posts done and throw them out. So I guess my ask to you would be one, can we get an agreement on what these initial questions are that we want to get down to put in to the AI, to just go, okay, I've got an idea, here are 5 questions that I answer, whatever, so that we have a bit of a repeatable context that we can put in for each post so that it's relevant, and then I can set that up to automatically go through the GPT. I mean, I can try and run this and turn this to a 4. I can turn both of these to a 4, and we can see what happens and see if it's any better. Because
you have 4, right?
I do, yeah. I mean, I just have to pay for the API, but I can turn this on to 4.0.
You just earned 16 euros with the sale.
I mean, I'll see how much it costs. So I'm going to turn these to that, and then I'm just going to press. Just check these are right.
Before it spends all your money.
It won't spend that. It will probably cost about 40 cents or something. That's fine. Let's save this. Let's press run and see, because if we think this is valuable, we could do it. But the issue is if we're going to be writing, oh damn it, cannot be used with API information. So this is a oh damn it. This is a deprecated version for some reason of this module, so I can't run that. I could do, which one's that? Perplexity. Let's keep that as a 3 then. That one should hopefully work. Then we're putting the formatter into a V3, but that one we probably want as a turbo. And it won't take much longer. It should create a better output. The question is if we're going to be creating, I don't know, 3 drafts per every draft post we write and then a post every day, that's going to add up over time. So that's why I've tried to keep this as a 3.5 because it's a bit cheap, especially for testing, so that we can see. The other bit that we need to do is go through these AI drafts and start going, okay,
like,
are they
one
any good?
I like, yeah.
Is that good? Is that not good? Because at the moment we've got all these statuses.
Let me do that for next week or for the next couple of days because I've been on holidays. I'm fresh.
Okay. Yeah. You want to try and
yeah.
What would be used?
Is this a real run? Or is this, or is it all test?
Have a look through them. See if there's anything in them. If it's crap, just say this doesn't work. It's crap. What would be good is if you can get some feedback from these. To say, okay, this didn't work about it, or that did work.
Okay.
So that just to get a theme.
Yeah.
It's probably useful to cross-reference this with the outputs, wherever I put them, wherever they went, with this, because this is the top 15 remote jobs thriving in AI. Now, that's not done anything there.
No, and it's not.
It's not a list. It's not 15, right? But that's taken from this one, which was a listicle, and I already know the listicle doesn't work. But actually, when you do run that, Perplexity actually does an okay job. It doesn't come up with 15, but it'll give you 2 or 3 things in the list. But then when I put it through GPT, it kind of loses the listicle nature of it. So that's why I think we need to kind of optimize based on that.
Okay.
But yeah.
So we're not doing listicles.
So we're not doing listicles. So this one is content. Let's see what this actually did to see if it is notably better. Maybe this has created 3 posts. Did you know? Hang on, it's going to be easy if we look at this on Notion. Top again, listicle, great. Top 8 online platform. I knew it was
at least it created a list.
Yeah. So
should be an AI draft.
Top
right?
8. Yeah. So here it is. Top 8 online posts.
Okay. Can we create is it possible to create a tag with a date, like it was generated that day?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you should be able to do that. That should be in here. Add item, type content, paragraph. That's not going to work. Let's not do that. This one, and try and do it live. Publish date, right? Start time, end time. Date and time's difficult. Timestamp. So. Yeah, that status is in progress. Tags we can select. So there's lots of. We probably need to talk about what the right tags are for this as well. So I had a tag for AI ready, so that would be the one that triggers it and picks it up. But maybe it makes sense to have a status for AI ready.
Yeah.
That then puts it back into an AI draft state, and then we can have a final one of, ready to post. That is picked up, scheduled, and then scheduled for post or whatever it is. Yeah.
Or ready to post Remko, ready to post Jack. When the 2 conditions are met, then we go.
Then we go. But that actually running this, it does look a little bit better. Did you know you can access top courses from renowned universities online? Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn, Skillshare, Pluralsight, Masterclass, Great Learning. Simply Learn. That's okay. That's not that bad as an output. So, and it's done 3 of these, so they might all be the same.
Yeah, it's the same, but
it's probably the same, but slightly different words. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can glance through that and go, okay, this is the one. It gives an idea of, okay, we want a motivational quote as an image. It's not doing images right now.
No.
That would be later on, but it does the hashtags and it does the @ if we wanted to link them. So
how would you want to go about with the images?
Ads
on LinkedIn.
Timestamp when created. Sorry,
sure.
status for AI ready, AI draft, and ready to post. And
you checked it. I checked it.
Yeah, that's what that would be, right? Yeah. Yeah. How would we do that? That would use. I'd have to connect to one of the AI generative AI image platforms. We have a base prompt. We'd have to create a bit of a theme around it so it has a consistent kind of look and style.
Yeah, because last time you did, like you just fed it one image, do it in the style of this image.
Yeah, so
we create something in the style.
I could
of
do that. I don't know if this has Mid-Journey built in. It might do. Let's have a look.
I mean, it should be up to us if we use an image or if we have an image from somewhere else.
API layer to Mid-Journey, so that could. Yeah, so we could use that.
Okay.
That's going to be harder. That's going to be harder to get some consistency because we probably go on, okay, always have a black background, often have text or something. It won't be able to generate the text. So that will be harder, but it would be great if we could have that because I think having some images like that would be...
Yeah, or we just keep the pool of images that we have generated already for the website.
I could definitely create more.
Create a couple
more. Could create more of those, definitely, yeah. So I did create more of those and put them in the Dropbox for... when I was doing the PDFs and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated with this tool. I think it's super cool. There's so many things you can do with it. I want to keep playing with it and build other things. I'm already thinking like, how can I make an agency where I'm building stuff on the side with this? So I think we can definitely optimize it and keep building upon it and use it to optimize our business processes. It's also pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So
it's €0 for 1,000.
So you get 1,000 operations. So
and an operation is one jump, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 per that.
Yeah. So that's
So
you can do 100 of these.
Yeah, you can do 100 of those a month. And these other ones are the same. What
would you say is the difference between this and if this then that or Zapier?
So Zapier is. I was looking at this. You're testing me now. Zapier's free plan gives you 100 zaps a month or something.
Yeah.
I know they've changed it, but it gives you a number of zaps a month, and a zap to them is a complete process. But there's only 2 on the free plan, so you do this to that.
Yeah.
And you can have 5 of those running in parallel. Zapier seems to be good to use for kind of more simple, okay, I want something from Dropbox and I want to put it in a Google Sheets. This is really good for chaining lots of things together, and it's a lot cheaper than Zapier.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper.
And I like the visual. Yeah, I'm a visual guy.
Yeah, the visual UI is really nice as well.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to upgrade to this because I think €9 a month for that is what I'm more worried about is spending all the money on the ChatGPT credits. Yeah. Because, let's look at... have I got that open on this one? No. So I ran that a couple of times. I mean, I think we ran it once. So it won't be a lot. It'll be a couple of pence.
14 cents.
One cent.
Pence.
1 cent. So again, maybe that's okay. 1 cent, if that's all it's going to cost, is actually not that bad.
Nope.
But when I was doing my other project with the email thing, that was costing about 50 cents to €1 every run. And maybe it would reply to 1 or 2 emails, but it was picking the wrong emails that I didn't even care about replying to. And then,
this is the danger, right? You don't have the control.
If you just get it going, it can spiral. So and the Perplexity one is really cheap as well. Perplexity settings API. I've used this in all my testing, and I've used 2 cents. So I did, this is the price, so it's $9 for that, but I think I've done nearly 600 operations of which, I don't know, maybe 60 of them have been perplexity and have spent 2 cents. So, and it gives a good output, right?
Yeah.
It's also built on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So they're absorbing the cost for that, surely. So at some point, it's going to get more expensive.
It's going to be,
But
no, it's just...
it's pretty... I'm blown away by it, what it can do.
Now we're the 2 piggies that stand in the barn and say, "Oh, it's so good. We get food and
just keep going.
It's for free."
Yeah. So
when it's for free, you're the product.
You are the product. Yeah. So all the VCs pay for it.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
I don't know. So exactly that. So I'd love to get this to the point where we can start testing and trying. I think for you. Go through what I've written, add any context to any other post ideas that you think. I get the thing that we need to clarify is what are those questions? Are you happy with wherever it was, the one that I was using, this one as an example?
Yeah, the cubicle or the...
Yeah, this one of these questions to try and to answer, to give it that context. Do you think there's anything missing that you think we should feed into it?
So you're constantly asking for title, target emotion, hook, RY, and curiosity gap, what call to action, ideas for the body.
What's a bit weird with Notion is I have to pull this in line by line.
Yeah.
So I have to go pull 10 lines, put it into a bundle, and then start sending it through. Okay. So be careful with how much you put in there.
Because it only takes 10 lines.
Well, I can change it, but yeah. But I also want to make sure that these are the right things that are going to be the input into that post. It could be anything, but we need to be clear on what they are so that we know what we're feeding into it.
Yeah.
I put these in as well based on other podcasts and research I've heard about what's an interesting thing to use when you're framing your mind about writing a post. So how do you want the reader to feel, the target emotion? What's the curiosity gap? Why is it intriguing to the reader? Why should you write about that? Those kind of things. But if that's not what we're going to use, then let's get rid of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess the question to you, you don't have to answer it now, but have a think if there's anything else in there that you want to add. And then what I can do is take this that I've built there, stick it onto the front of that and say, okay, Perplexity, here's some context about a post that we think is important. It could even be a URL of something. Research it and outline what you think is good about that post. Then ChatGPT tries to read it. And then maybe the last one, it feeds in again what the notes were that we put into it. So because that should be overweighted to it as a check plus the output of that. There's there's an infinite number of things we could do. The idea that when you're stumbling and you're reading URLs, you see interesting things, we could put that into this Excel sheet and say, go and look at that page and come up with any ideas and stick them in the idea list. So that's another thing that I might try and do.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah. URL to idea generator. That would be really easy as well. I mean, this thing's amazing. I've been watching loads of videos about how to do it. So
no wonder you didn't sleep.
No wonder I've not been sleeping.
I should go on holidays more often.
I spent hours on this, and I got myself sick because I've been so obsessed with this. But someone has built a lead feed that you put in your website. It will go onto the website. It will take a screenshot of the whole website. You'll feed that screenshot to an AI that will do a landing page optimization feedback and then automatically email you this is good about your website. You should think about changing that. And the video the guy showed, it wasn't even a good prompt, but it was pretty accurate that it was able to kind of come up with that. And that's just a simple kind of 4-step process. So there's a lot of things that we can do with this. So sorry, I'm very excited. Okay, so to keep this moving, if you can go through those, I will try to improve the initial input context into that post, and then we can see what we start getting out of it. And on WhatsApp, we can start chatting, and you can say this is shit, it doesn't work, we need to change this, that, or the other, and I can change those posts. Once we've got 10, 20 posts that we're kind of we're happy with these, we can then start going, okay, how do we schedule these and put those in. I think an important thing as well for you, I'm looking at you as the quality control manager to say, okay, are these good things that are coming out? And also, how long is it taking you to create those? Because if you're having to take a post and then spend half an hour editing it, probably not worth it, because it's the purpose, right? So I think we've got to be careful of that. Yeah. But I'm hopeful.
Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a go. I'm really excited about trying this.
Yeah, it's like the human becomes the editor-in-chief.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
And these are your interns.
Exactly.
Like research something.
Let's create a load of interns that can do a lot of the legwork for us, and even the research, and saying, okay, there's a topic that we like, go and do that URL, summarize the post for us, see if there are any others, put that into a bullet point list, and then go and then give it to us to say, okay, how are we going to create a post about that, or create 20 posts from it. Optimize. The only other thing is optimize based on the content type. So I'll focus on those three: motivational, actionable. Motivational, actionable, and I can't remember what the other one was. Present versus future. Okay, yeah. So I can try those. Cool. Okay, so that was my.
This was really, really nice. I like the tool, by the way. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
No, I saw you send me the Loom video, and I was like, I saw one guy doing it before, Dan Geller, and he was like, this is such a beautiful tool, but I didn't really know it was so complete. Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about this.
Play with it
on other projects.
Honestly,
as well.
give it a go. It's super cool, and I mean, there is a bit of a learning curve. There's some quirks to it that I was spending a few days, few sleepless nights trying to get this. But the other key bit is getting the prompts right. Yeah. So now that the AI is so ubiquitous, you get the prompt right, you feed it in. As long as you're aware of the tokens and the cost of it, it can create some pretty nice functionality. Yeah. So this is our intern.
Can you also like create a branch of things and then have that process and then have that process feed back into another?
We could do
a separate branch.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how that would. I don't know if it can kind of go around in a circle.
No, not go around, but do stuff in parallel.
Yeah, so this is doing stuff in parallel. So this is a router. This is this particular module that can do that. So at the same time, it takes the output package of here's the draft blog post, it puts in the Google Docs just so I've got a list to see if it works, and it also puts it in Notion. So eventually we can put that into as many things as we want, and we can say, okay, one goes to the LinkedIn writer, one goes to the YouTube video content writer, one goes into Twitter and TikTok Shorts idea generator, and then outputs 4 different things.
Nice.
It could get quite expensive if we're running 100 modules on GPT-4s,
but normally you would do this on your time. Your time is just as costly, and having somebody working with you, like an intern or
I mean this is the thing that takes away from an intern for sure. I think we should look at this as this is our intern. How can we build this, and how can we use this to build the systems that can help us scale? I mean, even if we're paying, I don't know how much it costs, but how much is our time worth versus spending 20 quid on this?
We just spend like 1,000 euros already. Just
exactly. I'm very excited about this.
Me too.
So, cool.
I think we have a lot of stuff to do. For next week. I mean, since we only have 1 day a week on average for this.
You think we're clear and we can get going with this stuff, and now it's just pure content mode and trying?
Because we discussed our ICP. We more or less have a clear view. Maybe we should describe. Maybe that's the only thing that I find missing in this is that we have a clear definition of the ICP.
I have that. That is in here somewhere. So in the various places, I think the Justin Welsh one has it. The target audience.
Target audience.
I've shrunk it. I kind of summarized it. Yeah. But the target audience is this. I've got it in another one somewhere as well. This one might not have it actually. This one doesn't. No. I think this one, the viral formatter, does. Target audience, the profile is blah, 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 blah. We're going to do this, educate, empathize, and challenge they face to help them acquire new skills in transition. To thrive, typo. Transition. Oops.
This is going to be a
transition
major
to thrive in the future economy. Like that kind of a thing. But if there's probably an exercise for you to go through this and sense check that you agree with what those are. But these are all optimizations that we can make.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, I mean,
let's get going.
Yeah. Yeah, ready.
So we have the products. We have our first test MVP product. We have landing pages. We have. We should only make noise.
Yeah, now we have to make noise. We have an idea of who our ICP is. We have an idea of the content things that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We have a process, hopefully, to streamline some of that we're going to improve upon. Now let's get loads of good ideas. Let's feed them into the system. Let's edit them.
Do it for 2 weeks and then get some feedback.
Yeah. And mainly we're thinking for now is LinkedIn once a day.
Yeah.
That's the target, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hoping that if it's going to be LinkedIn once a day, we can get this down to, loads of ideas once a month, 5 minutes a day, or half an hour a week. Yep. Good. Okay, go.
Yeah.
There's still the kind of engagement side that needs to happen. At the moment, I think there's a way that you could automate that.
Let's not do that.
But
yeah, we want real humans.
Yeah, true.
And also the engagement is not very high.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 23 followers now.
23. It's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, this is going to take time. It's going to take. Yeah. I think we have to consistently put stuff out there. We've got videos. We can keep doing that. I wonder if we pivot and not pivot, but do more videos as well. Convert them to shorts and other things. And, but it's all about content, right? Right now, at least my view is if we can come up with good top content that's written, then we can change that into various forms.
Yeah.
And so, okay, let's make that into a Twitter or a video short or whatever. So
so when we get this down, I think that like in a month or so we should also check like how is the sales sequence. So how can we optimize for people actually when people get
when we get some traffic to the site, how can we optimize?
Like
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're saying 1 month content, then review.
Yeah, so that's mid-July.
Okay.
More or less.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's call it a day.
Nice.